Subject, one. One. Subject, one.
Welcome, classic rock fans, to another episode of Classic Gig Revisited. And for today's episode, I'd like to go back to 1998 to the Newcastle City Hall. The date exactly was the 27th of February, 1998, at the Newcastle City Hall. I was living there as a student to see and this was the Open Your Eyes tour. The lineup consisted, of course, Alan White on drums, John Anderson, Steve Howe on keyboards. They had some Russian guy who was absolutely incredible, but nevertheless it wasn't Rick Wakeman, and of course the wonderful, much missed Chris Squire. No support. It was a long show, as you can imagine. I've still got my ticket here. You can see that. Let the camera focus in on that. Go on, you can do it. There we go. Yes, Newcastle City Hall. I think the cost was about £23. Still kept it. Anyway, the programme is as such. The familiar Roger Dean type logo with photographs from that period. A wonderful John Anderson, who is actually on tour with Anderson, Rabin and Wakeman, playing at the Hammersmith Odeon. I shouldn't call it the Odeon anymore, the Hammersmith Apollo. Which I haven't bought a ticket for because I don't want to shell out £100 to see them. Really, the ticket would have been about 50-60 quid. But there you go. Steve Howe from the programme, Billy Sherwood. Oops, I forgot all about him. Sorry. And wonderful pictures of the band, of course. Chris Squire, very shorn. Alan White, of course. Igor Koreshev, or something like that you pronounce his name. Yeah, that's the back of the programme. But my memories of the gig, it was I was sat up in the balcony, if I remember. It was the set list included the wonderful Revealing Science of God, Roundabout, Starship Trooper and You and I, Long Distance Runaround, Heart of the Sunrise. They also did, of course, Owner of a Lonely Heart, Rhythm of Love, I think they did as well, from the Big Generator album. And I remember Steve Howe for his guitar solo playing the Mason Williams classical gas as well, but for me, one of the, not only did it sound fantastic, I thought the sound was great. I mean, the Newcastle City Hall is just an incredibly good venue. I just love that venue. It's got a stage door that opens onto the road as well, so you can get stuff signed if you want to. But it's just a great venue. But my presiding memory of the gig was the bass and drum solo. Because it was just Chris Squire is such a huge presence on the stage, and you went into the wonderful solo by Alan White, and that was bass. Then it went into the drum solo by Alan White, and Chris Squire just turned his back on the audience, and he put his arms out like that with his back to the audience, and he must have just stood there perfectly still. It seemed like a long time while the drum solo finished. As soon as the drum solo finished, he just stood up again and started playing the bass. He was very much a showman. His voice was incredible in terms of blending with the sort of harmonies of John Anderson and the other guys from the band. But he was he just stalk around the stage really, and that bass playing was just incredible. I mean, for me, the two greatest bass players in rock. We've lost both of them, unfortunately, is John Entwistle and Chris Squire. Chris Squire, of course, was very much influenced by John Entwistle. But nevertheless, I'm proud to say I've seen both of them play live. But that was the presiding memory for me. It was Chris Squire and the way he performed and those sort of little touches he would add to the performance. highlight for me was the Revealing Science of God, when they did that one, and of course the ending with Starship Trooper. They did Roundabout and things like that. Anyway, yes, I did get to see the classic. I did get to see the classic lineup a bit later. They did a kind of a little acoustic concert for charity, and I went to see them do that, and that was the classic lineup. But this lineup, featuring the Chris Squire, John Anderson, Steve Howe, and Alan White, of course, was excellent. Anyway, are you a Yes fan, and were you there? Did you see them on this tour? What are your thoughts? Please leave comments in the box below. But more importantly, please click like, subscribe, and do keep listening. Thank you.